Conquer Athlete community, here we are. Coach Tommy Palms, myself, Jason Lyden. We are back on the Conquer Chats, our YouTube channel. Be sure if you are listening to this show and other shows that Tommy and I have done, or anybody at Conquer has done, be sure to give us a like, a follow, pose a question. The more you guys do that, the more and probably better information we can keep providing. Um, right? I was going to say something else, but I feel like that's it for YouTube.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah, I nailed it. All right.
Fuck it.
Man, you said you nailed it. I was like, I nailed it like a girl on Saturday night, but I figured I'd
Oh,
stop,
geez.
but then I
Don't
just
let
said
Josh see that one.
it. I'm talking about college days.
Ah, those days. It's Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day. What'd you get Nikki
You
for
gotta check
Valentine's Day?
Insta. I got her some cool stuff.
What?
I
Fuck.
did. I did. Instagram, bro.
I didn't get
It's so easy, bro. Just double click your phone and it charges you.
I didn't get anything.
Ah, shit.
I didn't give anything. I didn't get anything either. We got our kids stuff though. We got our kids stuff. But Valentine's Day isn't over, Tommy. I still have the night. I can get a card.
You guys doing anything good? Or just chilling?
No, man, we got basketball and dance and
Yeah,
softball
exactly.
practice or
Yeah.
volleyball practice. I'll probably cook some steaks and then
Nice.
we'll chill out and relax. Joss isn't feeling good, man. She's sick. She's been sick for a while, so we're just gonna chill.
Cool.
What are you guys doing?
Cool. Yeah, nothing, bro.
Yeah, you wake
Literally
up at
nothing.
you wake up at 3:30. What are you gonna do at
Yeah,
night?
bro. I gotta get to sleep.
All
That's it.
right. I love it. Valentine's Day in our Conquer chat on Valentine's Day. We're keeping a theme around the CrossFit Open. And we're going to discuss when you see a workout in the open where you have to hit a heavy lift at the end of a fatiguing or at the end of a Metcon, at the end of a CrossFit workout. So, i.e., 7-minute AMRAP of toes to bar and thrusters, and the workout's done. You got to hit a heavy clean and jerk, something like that. That's what we're going to talk about. And what Tommy's going to dive into is how do you gauge what weight to open up at? And we're going to come at this from literally 5 different perspectives. And we're going to give you guys some insight and information around this. Hopefully, this will prepare you for when you see a workout like this. And chances are you will see a workout like this at some point over the next couple of weeks. So, Tommy, with that being said, let's just get right into it, okay? Now, how should athletes be looking at the strength component when it's 2 scores? So let's say we're going to do a ladder, right? An ascending ladder of 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And the workout is burpees over the erg and calories on the erg for 10 minutes. Then once that's done, or let's say it's 3 up to 15 in a 10-minute window. When it's done, you can rest the remaining of the time, right? At the 10-minute mark, they got to find a heavy squat clean, okay? And it's 2 scores. So what are you talking to athletes about from a game planning perspective on effort with the first part and then strength and opening weight on the second part?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So there's many ways to go about this, and we're going to talk about all of them based upon who the individual is, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and then playing the leaderboard correctly, right? So you want to obviously get the best scores possible in both workouts. So in an ideal world, you would crush the workout and crush the lift. That's not necessarily very likely for most people. Okay. You're probably going to have to take damage on one or the other, meaning do a little worse than you could at your peak level if it was fresh, in order to get your best kind of score. So I think you have to look at yourself as an individual and say, well, where can I make up the most points? Right. And when you're looking at a really large leaderboard, okay, doing a little bit better in a workout that you're not as good at will probably get you more points than versus just losing a few spots on a lifting leaderboard, unless they're both kind of in the middle. So to use an example of someone who has a clean and jerk of like 400 pounds, right? And they're going to be much better off really pushing the Metcon, knowing they're not going to do great in the lift because their lift will still probably be better than 99% of people, right?
Mhm.
Vice versa, you have the person who's super aerobic but doesn't have a great clean and jerk, and they need to do as best they can in that clean and jerk to like just make up some ground, they could probably let off the gas tank just a little bit in that first part, knowing their score will still be pretty damn great. And they might be able to lift very close to their 1 rep max, right? And then you have the person who's in the middle ground. And you have the person who's like not going to crush either, but their goal is to maybe hit, let's just say the 1 rep max clean and jerk was the lift, probably hit 90% plus of that clean and jerk, and then also do very well in the Metcon. That person has to kind of decide, I think just based around the first workout, how hard they can go in order to still do really well. So it's kind of just, looking at yourself as an athlete and who you are, and then thinking about, okay, what's going to get me the best placing on leaderboard in both scores.
Now, Tommy, is it true that historically, when they do workouts like this, doesn't it seem that the heavy lift just have so much weight and bearing on the score?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, 100%. It really does, because there's a lot of people who can just lift heavy but can't do the other thing, and those points can tend to hurt people for the CrossFit athlete who's fit. So you have to like look at that as yourself as an athlete and be like, does an extra 20 pounds on my clean and jerk mean more than an extra 30 reps in the Metcon? And if the answer is yes to that, then you're probably better off dropping in those spots so that you can go lift those extra 20 pounds.
Right, because for the people listening, if you're not used to it, what Tommy's referencing is you might not hit those 30 reps in a Metcon, and let's say it might drop you like 50 spots. But if you don't hit the 20 pounds, it might drop you like 300 spots, right? Or some number like that, just because some people might bomb the workout just to put up these crazy strength numbers. So where you fall might bump you down like 330 versus like 125 in a Metcon, right? And that point differentiation is huge when the scores come out. Yeah.
Huge.
I love it. Great stuff there, Tommy. Okay, now next one. Let's say we're coming into a workout that has, let's call it a complementary fatiguing factor. So the Metcon they do first, let's just say, is a lot of like pulling, toes to bar, dumbbell shoulder overhead, and rowing, right? And then they got to come after that and they got to hit a snatch. So what are you thinking about, we're talking about with your athletes, from fatigue as well as a weight that they should be thinking about opening up at?
Yeah. So, more so what I'm just going to be thinking about in that workout's probably going to be grippy no matter what. Obviously, you don't want to go in there and destroy your grip, but you're going to have to do well in the workout. And in order to do well in the workout, your grip's probably going to get fatigued. But more so just thinking about, okay, what is the opener? Where I think a lot of people get this wrong. It depends on the style of format, but let's just say it's time, because most of the time it is that you just have 5 minutes or with the time remaining, which means you get to lift as many times as you want within that window. And you could really take advantage of that. I think a lot of people make the mistake of coming out and lifting too heavy as their first opener. And what tends to happen for some people is either they miss or it's really ugly and kind of kills their confidence. There's downsides to both. The first one is you miss. Okay, you just wasted time taking that lift. So now you have to either take that same lift again and hope you make it, or strip down weight, which is where you could have started in the first place, nail that rep, and then rebuild back up. For the person who makes the lift, but it's really ugly, well, that kills confidence. It could potentially throw off your technique for the remainders of the lifts, or throw off your mindset as to what you think is actually possible to hit. So my recommendation to most athletes is open up at something that is so ridiculously easy to hit, to 1, build confidence, 2, ensure you don't miss, and then 3, nail your technique.
Love it. Simple. Perfect. All right, next one, Tommy. Contrasting dynamic contractions. So let's say the Metcon is, for the sake of conversation, chest bar pull-up and handstand push-ups, and then they got to go into a back squat.
Yeah. If that's the situation, which would be a very friendly situation, you can hammer both. That chest to bar pull-ups and handstand push-ups aren't going to really affect your ability to back squat. Maybe your nervous system's a little fatigued, but like in terms of like your legs feeling fresh, like they're going to be. So you definitely have more room to take risk and really go big on that style of kind of workout, as opposed to the grip one.
Beautiful. Love it. All right, next one, Tommy. Let's say it's something that's gonna the workout is gonna create some sort of neurological fatiguing stimulus, right? And we're probably not gonna say a heavy barbell and a heavy barbell, but you might. But let's just say it's something that's gonna fatigue your central nervous system. So for the sake of the conversation, ring muscle ups, crossover singles, and handstand walking. For some people, that's gonna be nothing. For other people, that might be more neurological fatiguing. For people who don't really know what I'm talking about, I'm referencing a workout that's gonna be more challenging. It's gonna be tougher. It might be heavier stuff. Maybe your heavier dumbbells, Tommy. Maybe like high burpee box jump overs. Something that is going to create some sort of central nervous system fatigue on top of the metabolic fatigue, right? So you have a workout that's creating central nervous system fatigue, and then you have to go into another movement like a clean and jerk. What are you thinking about for opening on the barbell?
Yeah, I think, well, in those kind of scenarios, more likely than not, expectations just need to shift as
Hmm.
to what the maximal amount of load you're going to be able to hit. You know, there are some athletes, though, out there who can just hit those higher percentages no matter what. So I don't want to say that for everyone. But if you are doing a workout that's going to fry your CNS, if it was just like, you know, I'm trying to think of a really good example, but regardless of the matter, the amount of weight that you're going to be able to hit is probably just going to come down. Maybe in a normal scenario, you have like an everyday max is what I call it, or an everyday minimum, I could call it, whatever you want. But like every time you clean and jerk, if you needed to, you could hit 315 or 225. You know, maybe instead of hitting that number, it's like 300 and 205, right? It's a little bit lighter just because you're more fatigued than you normally would be in that setting. And that's why it's important to practice that, you know, in training, so that like you have clear expectations and understanding of like, okay, if this is what's happening, this is like the best I could probably do today.
Yeah, great points. Now, are you telling them any different if it's for the last scenario, just metabolic fatigue into a high complex movement? So let's say like pure metabolic shuttle runs, burpee pull-ups, right? Increasing numbers like last year's open workout. And then
Yeah.
following that, you got to go into like a barbell complex. Like
Well, we did
uh,
that, and didn't we go into a thruster last year? Is that what we did?
I
Is
think we
that the workout
did.
that went into the
Yeah,
thruster?
you might be right. You
Yeah,
might be
yeah,
right.
yeah. We went to
Yeah.
the thruster.
So let's say it's something metabolic fatigue, shuttle runs, burpee pull-ups, but let's say it goes into like a barbell complex, like a clean front squat.
Yeah. I mean, just for sakes of last year's conversation, like people were able to smash that workout and then like go hit a PR on their thruster,
Mm,
right? Like
yeah, it's
it was
crazy.
very doable, like super doable, especially on the female side of things. Like
Hmm.
I know Aurora did that for sure, which was really cool. So I do think, you know, it's possible metabolically. I'm more concerned with, you know, it just depends on what the fatigue limiter was in the first workout going into that. It's like if their legs are fried going into heavy clean jerks, gonna change some things. But if you're really just more thinking about like, you know, heart rate through the roof and then going to have to nail something, I think we're pretty good now at being able to recover and then ramp back up pretty quickly, especially for my higher level athletes. So for them, I'm not too concerned. I'm just telling them to stay in control, take their time, not rush things, and then go get after it.
Love it. Beautiful. All right, Tommy, anything you want to leave the listeners with to sum everything up?
Yeah, no, I would just say that you know, those workouts are good to practice if they come up in the open. They're also good workouts to do twice just to kind of like experiment with and see how you would do on a leaderboard. They tend to come up a lot in online qualifiers as well, like a lot of the time.
Hmm.
So even if the open doesn't mean a lot to you, you know, it could be a good place for you just to understand, okay, how do I do well in these workouts if I do this versus this? And where does that stack me up on a leaderboard so that when you go and do an online qualifier like Wadapalooza or, you know, Crash Crucible, whatever it might be, you can also just continually have a better game plan and plan of attack for those styles.
I love it. Hey guys, when you're going into this, make sure you're starting with a lift that you know you can do. Like Tommy talked about this a lot in the past 10 to 12 minutes. Don't open up and miss it, and that's going to set you back a lot. Get a lift, wake the nervous system up, reframe the nervous system, get a lift that you know you can hit, and then build from there based on how you're feeling. As always, check us out, conquerathlete.com. Be sure to like and share this YouTube chat if you guys did enjoy it. If not, let us know why. Send us a message, send us a note, send us a question. Slide into them DMs. Valentine's Day, tell somebody you love them. It's not Valentine's Day when you listen to this. You should still tell somebody that you love them. You know what I'm saying?
Boom. I love it.
All right. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you later.
Peace.